Good morning. Hi, my name is Jerica, and today we are going to be talking about what it means to be a stepmom. Okay, so before I get started about my journey as a stepmother, I want to tell you what this video is not. Okay, one, this video is not a bash. It is not a get on Facebook Live and air your personal laundry. It is not a gossip fest or a talk down to moms, and this truly is just my journey and kind of where I'm at and how being a stepmother has affected my life. And so I just wanted to share. I've been getting a lot of comments and questions, and so I thought that I would just share my journey with you a little bit. So I have been married for almost 4 years, and when I married Trevor, Braden was 9. Yeah, he was 9 when we got married. And so and he has lived with us since about like 2 or 3 months after we got married. He's kind of been with us, and so it has been quite the journey, and mostly because motherhood is a journey, right? And I think that motherhood in general is quite the journey. And so when you add in taking on a mother figure role to a person, a little human that's not yours, it makes for an even more interesting journey, right? And so we got married almost 4 years ago, and we've been this little, you can actually see our little photo up here in the corner. That's from our wedding. And so I just wanted to get on here, hey Vanessa, and share kind of what it's like to be a stepmom. And so I think it's like an uphill battle, because from a very early age, like we've all seen Disney movies, the stepmothers are always evil. They're always trying to, hurt, harm, or get rid of the child. And so we kind of like ingrained into our children from a very early age, like stepmoms are evil, right? Like you don't want a stepmom. If you have a stepmom, they're evil. And, not blaming Disney, but this is kind of how we've portrayed the role of a stepmother. And so, so you kind of are dealing with that, and then you're dealing with the sensitivity of, where do you draw the lines? How do you communicate with one another? What's this look like? How personal is too personal? Where do you, what do you do? Do you do shared birthday parties? Do you do family dinners? Do you do Christmas as a entire family? Or does Santa go to both mom and dad's house? Because and it starts to become this like almost overwhelming cycle, and in the midst of that you are a newlywed and you're trying to figure out how to be a wife, and that relationship with your husband, and trying to grow and to nurture that relationship. And you have this already grown, for lack of a better term, sometimes child that has had a completely different norm, and now you're thrown into the mix. And so I think the feelings kind of that we first get are like you're being placed on the back burner, that the child is of more importance than you are, because we tend to focus a lot on making the child comfortable, and in the interim you kind of lose who you are. So now you're in this journey where you are trying to figure out who you are as a woman, who you are as now a new wife, who you are as another mother figure without trying to take the place of their mother and without trying to overstep boundaries on, all of these things, and you lose yourself in the midst of all that. That was one of the first true realizations that I had, was that I didn't know who I was anymore. Before I got married, I was a very outgoing, live comedian, like, just had this, I was Jerica, and everybody knew who that was. And, if you caught me on a bad day, then you met my alter ego, who those who know me best know as Jessica. And, everything was great. I hung out with my friends. I worked 90 hours a week. I did all of these things. And then I married Trevor, and Braden was here, and Vanessa, I'm so glad that you are like, you're feeling this with me, because it's a very sticky subject to talk about, but I think that it needs to be talked about. And then I, became a wife and a stepmom in an hour, right? In one sentence, in that whole, the power invested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife, and bam, I'm a wife, I'm a stepmom, I'm a, an aunt. I'm like, whoa, and so after you, come off of that newlywed high, and you are here in this journey, and you don't really know where to turn. And none of my friends are stepmothers. No, none of them. A lot of my friends, when I got married, weren't married. So then it became kind of like this inner struggle, because I didn't really know where I fit in with my friends anymore, because I had all of this on my plate that I was trying to figure out and trying to juggle, and it wasn't necessarily something that I could, call up one of my girlfriends and say, hey, XYZ just happened, and what do I do? Because they don't know. And so, and then you kind of become a recluse, and you kind of just stick to yourself, and so you lose yourself in this whole journey of becoming a stepmother. And then it became like hey Katie, it became almost like a, not a barrier, but it became another obstacle that we had to overcome, because now I have all of these mixed feelings about everything, right? And how do I talk to my new husband about this, right? How do I tell him, hey, I'm kind of feeling like I'm on the back burner. I'm kind of feeling like, I'm playing a second or a third role, or, to your child, who is now our child, and trying to figure out where where that leaves you as a wife with your now said husband. And so there were some pretty complicated and complex conversations that happened between Trevor and I, because you want to, exactly, Vanessa, you want to express your feelings without making your husband angry. And then you have to be very careful about the words that you choose and the tone that you choose them, because you obviously love this person, because that's why you married them. And when you married them, you didn't just marry them, you married their past and their children as well, right? And I did know, from the beginning, I'm kind of bouncing all over now, but I did know, like, how important of a role I was going to play, but I guess I didn't really know the magnitude of that role. I thought it was very important to include Braden into a significant part of our wedding ceremony, and we did that. Braden and I exchanged gifts. you know, I had vows to Braden as well as vows to Trevor. And so, you know, I tried from the very beginning um, to make it clear, you know, that I wasn't this Disney evil stepmom coming in to, you know, ship you off to the closest boarding school or the furthest boarding school and to move on with our lives. That was not my intention. Hey, Marcy. So that was, you know, also a struggle. And then, you know, you have to deal with all of the repercussions of why the relationship between your husband and the ex-wife did not work, and how that plays out in the form of the child, right? So now that just adds on another layer, right? Because now you're trying to make sure that the child knows that dad isn't going anywhere, even though dad may have gone somewhere when dad was with mom, or maybe mom went somewhere and, you know, dad didn't. And so you have to now try to explain all of this to a child who doesn't understand any of it, right? And so that's a struggle, and that's a power struggle, because I think that instantly the child feels like it's either them or you. There is no cohesiveness to this family. There is no, it doesn't matter that you had a wedding and that you're married and that whatever. Like, that's my dad and you're you, and this is my dad. And so we still struggle with some of that, not nearly as much as before, but a lot of possession, right? So this is my dad, this is my house, this is my mom, that's my bag. And so we have worked on that over the past 4 years, you know, and so now it's less of my dad and just what dad said, right? And then becomes the struggle of, what do they call you, right? How do they introduce you to people? And to add on to that again is now, for myself personally, I'm in an interracial relationship, right? And this is a weird time, and that's a whole nother live that I can get into. But this is a very, very unique set of circumstances that we have here, I think, because Trevor's older than me, and he's white, and I'm black, and his child is, you know, Braden is blonde-haired, blue-eyed. I mean, if we, you know, were out somewhere, you would never expect him to be with me. And so there's kind of that. We live in a small town. So there's that whole aspect of, you know, how does this look to the child? How is, you know, how are his friends reacting to this? How's he being treated differently? Because not only is his dad now remarried, but his dad married a younger black woman. I mean, this is like, so we have this cycle of stuff happening here. And I think that we are doing a really good job at this. And we are doing a really great job in being very conscious about what is said and not said, behind open doors, behind closed doors, out in public, you know, because there is a respect issue, and, you know, and you definitely mature a lot. Not only when you get married, but you mature a lot when you become a stepmother, because it forces you to put aside all of these feelings, right? And all of these insecurities and the resentment that may come up, or the anger that may come up, and all of that. It forces you to put aside all of that pettiness and to just be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, for the sake of your husband and for the child. And so it is a struggle. I will say that this is the hardest job that I've ever had. Hey Tracy, hey Jessica. This is the hardest job that I've ever had, because you can't turn it off. You don't get to decide when and where you're going to be a stepmother or what that looks like. Like, that is the role that I chose. That's the job that I chose. And now I'm in it, right? And so it's it's life. You're right, Vanessa. This is life. And so I just wanted to come on really quick and just talk about, my journey, give you a little glimpse into my life. Hey, Cody. And, with it being International Women's Day, I just wanted to say, like, that I don't think we give stepmoms enough props, okay? So with, like, if you know a stepmom or if you are a stepmom and you see someone out today with, their stepchildren, like, buy them a cup of coffee, give them a hug, tell them, like, hey, you are doing such a great job. I know you don't get enough credit, and just let them know that they are doing a great job, because it's hard. It is so hard, and it's difficult. It's difficult, and it is one of the most rewarding jobs that I think a woman can take on. I think it's one of the most rewarding roles that you can play as a woman, is to step in to a otherwise not par situation, and to step in and to be able to carry on with your life in a positive, uplifting way. And so I think that's kind of what I wanted to say with this live. I could dive way deeper into this, but I'm trying to keep it as light and as informative as possible, and not at all a blaming or pointing fingers, or without getting too personal. I just wanted to kind of share that, and so that's where I'm at. So if you see a stepmom today, make sure that you let them know what a great job they're doing, because it is tough. And I think that it's very easy as women to be super critical of each other and of ourselves. And I know for myself, I'm my own worst critic. And so there are days, weeks, months that I'm like, I don't exist here, right? Like, I just kind of feel like I'm going through the motions, like it doesn't really matter what I say or don't say, do or don't do, that I'm just kind of here. And I know that that's not the reality, but that's sometimes how I perceive it. And so it would mean the world to me for someone to say, hey, Jerica, I just wanted to let you know that, I saw Brayden today and he held the door open for me. And thanks for teaching him, how to open doors for ladies, or that kind of thing. Or just to say, hey, I have no idea what you're going through, but you're doing a great job. And so that's that. Hey, Josh. Hey, Lori. So I just wanted to share that with you, and to let you know kind of a little bit about where I'm at as how I feel about being a stepmother. I love it. Like I said, it's the most challenging yet rewarding job that I've ever done to date. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you again soon for my next episode of Coffee Talk with Jerica. Have a great day. Bye.